my 28 days of mindfulness and meditation, or mindfulness talks and mental health talks. Today we're going to be today we're going to be talking about how to forgive the others who have hurt you or betrayed you or, stepped over your boundaries. This is a really sensitive topic. And this is something that I know a lot of people struggle with as well. I've struggled with before. And because I've struggled with it before and have also learned it, learn how to practice it in day-to-day life, I can give a little bit more insight on what forgiveness is and how to actually like free yourself from that burden of forgiveness. So today I have 3 points. If you've been enjoying this live stream series so far, if you've watched the replay, you've watched a couple of these videos, give this one a thumbs up. It helps so much. Thanks. So I have 3 topics or 3 points. Let's get right into it. So, how to forgive others who have hurt you. Number one is don't put others so high up on a pedestal. So I think harboring unforgiveness originally starts with the expectations that we put on one person. For example, we, like our best friend, we expect them not to tell our secrets. And I think, people who are really good at that and really loyal and have that capacity, they can do that really well. I have some best friends that, well, I don't have some. I have, oh, well, yeah, some best friends that don't tell secrets, right? And that's great. However, let's say you tell a really good secret, really juicy secret to your best friend, and you expect them not to tell anybody, and that's a high standard. I mean, that is a standard that you put on them. Then they tell it. Oh my gosh, they break your boundaries and they break your trust as well. Well, maybe you tell them, hey, I don't like that you did this. Let's not do it again. Okay, so you found out they do it again. You trusted them to do something and you expected something out of them. It's not that it's too high of a standard for you, because there are some people in your life probably who can follow that standard, they've zipped their lips enough to not tell any of your secrets. But for some reason, this one friend can't keep a secret. Then it's time to forgive them for that. I mean, that is something that obviously you set a boundary with. You set your expectations and they hurt your feelings. So I think the first thing around this, setting high expectations, is that you can expect something from somebody, but not always. There's a difference between expecting them to do something and holding them to that expectation so much that if they don't follow that expectation, then they're a bad person and you can never trust them with anything. Versus, you expect something out of somebody and you tell them what you want from them and they show you that they can't follow that, and you say, okay, well, I'm going to rearrange how I interact with this person so that I don't put such high expectations on this person, because they are human. Not to say that like we shouldn't expect things from people, but at the end of the day, there are things that we've done wrong because we're human beings and we know that. And then there are things that other people will always do wrong as well. The thing is to realize that everybody's a human being. Everybody will do wrong things, and the expectations that we put on people to stay within our boundaries of right doing sometimes inhibit us from later on forgiving them and freeing ourselves from harboring anger and harboring, what's that word? Harboring grudges on them because they did you so wrong. So yeah, the first statement I have with this is to not put others so high up on a pedestal. Don't see other humans as, let's not see other humans as above the scope of wrongdoing, because we're a human being. We know ourselves that we're not above the scope of wrongdoing. We could do wrong, and other people could do wrong. If you have a friend and you expect something out of them, they could not meet your expectations, and that could hurt your feelings. So let's not be so quick to discount others' wrongdoings, even though we're hurt by them. And instead of shaming them for their wrongdoings or harboring unforgiveness against them from their wrongdoings, realizing that another thing, the things that they do wrong, even though they can impact you in negative ways, it really has nothing to do with us. Like, it really has nothing to do with me if someone else hurts my feelings. If I trust my best friend with something and they, if I trust my best friend to, you know, sorry, I blanked on something. I was trying to think of example. I trust my friend with something really sensitive, like keeping the keys to my house because I'm gonna be away on vacation for a week and they lose the keys. And it's like, I that's a big thing. I have a difficult time forgiving that person. But at the same time, we've done wrong things, we've made mistakes, and some things are shallow mistakes. Other things I know are really heavy mistakes. But either way, whether it's a really shallow mistake, easily fixable, or whether it's a really big mistake that costs you a lot of harm and fixing in your life, whatever that person did to have you upset, it still has nothing to do with us because it affects us, but that person has their own problems that they're dealing with that cause them to misstep. Just like us, if we do someone else wrong in our lives, it's usually not even about them. It's about us and the things that we need to work on within ourselves. So kind of put ourselves in the shoes of others and see that we don't have to be so quick to harbor emotions against somebody, anger, upset, whatever, because it really has little to do with us and more to do with the problems that they have that they have to work on. Okay, the second thing that I have to mention is boundaries. Once you realize that there are certain people in your life who have certain tendencies to get on your nerves, to do you wrong, and certain people just don't have as much integrity as other people. Integrity, we talked about integrity yesterday. It has a lot to do with being honest with yourself, being honest with other people, and having strong morals. Some people in your life, they just don't have, they have a difficult time being honest with themselves and knowing themselves enough to talk positively about events that happen in their life and see the world in a positive light. Maybe this person is like always complaining about something, you know. This is a good thing that happened. It happens in my life yesterday. But you know what was wrong with this though? I think this bad thing might happen too. Maybe that person is like sometimes a worry wart as well. They may not be honest with themselves about what they want, honest with other people about their true intentions. You know, they just don't have as much integrity. They don't have maybe a good sense of strong grounding within themselves, and their mind and their decisions tends to sway with the wind. So we all have those people in our lives. Boundaries. Let's talk about them. We love the people in our lives, especially family and friends. Some family and some friends may be like these people that don't have as much, they don't have as much knowledge of themselves and as much honesty within them, within their bones. And with those people, you may have to insert more boundaries, because you want to protect yourself at the end of the day. Hi, good morning. So, yeah, you want to have boundaries with people, one, because that protects you. You want to protect yourself from any potential hurt that you might see coming. Like, there's always going to be also hurt that you don't see coming from other people. people will people will people people will people will be what humans were designed as, and that includes being flawed. So then there are like three categories of people, in my opinion, at least in my life, that I have, right? I have like really, really close people to me, and people who I would trust with almost anything, even if those people have maybe once or twice in life over like years and years and years misstepped my trust. I know that once we have a conversation about somebody stepping outside of another person's trust, we can reconcile that. And we have, and we've moved past that. I think those people are the closest people to me, because you're always going to have conflicts with people in life, friends, family members. It's about how you move through those conflicts and how you talk about those conflicts. Are they able to communicate with you about it? Are you able to feel like they're listening to you and responding in a way that they understand? Are they active listening? Meaning, is the person that you trust the most going to listen to what you say, sit there, and then after you talk, repeat what you said back to them? I mean, they're going to repeat, yeah, they're going to repeat what you said back to you. So they're active listening. Okay, they say, okay, I respect your boundaries, I honor that, I'm not going to do it again, and then they don't do it again. Those are the OG people that within my life, because I know you ain't perfect, I'm not perfect, so let's be imperfect together, but then let's respect each other's boundaries and try our best, right? Because the key with like not having forgiveness as an issue in your friendships and relationships is constantly reminding yourself that neither of you are perfect, and not never expecting perfection out of anybody. The moment that we start to expect perfection out of people, the moment that we set ourselves up to get hurt more, because the expectations that we have are just unrealistic. And a lot of people do that in relationships. Like, the expectations that you have for this person, if you see them as perfect, are non-existent. They're dreams, honestly, because we're not seeing the human nature in a person, which honestly is a little dehumanizing. But when you can realize that you're dealing with somebody who's imperfect, you're also imperfect. Let's talk about our imperfections and how we're going to improve. That shows that people are willing to see from your perspective and also work on themselves, because you see the improvement. Those are the people that I have around me that are closest to me. So there's those people. Then, as far as boundaries are concerned, the second group of people is like people who you think you could maybe spend a couple of hours with them at a time, and maybe that's it. You may have a lot of family members like that, some friends, I mean, some acquaintances, because I don't know. I don't know if you call these people friends, the type of people that you know that they have a lot to work on, and they don't have enough self-awareness to realize that if they hurt your feelings, they don't have the self-awareness to to recognize why your feelings were hurt, and they don't have the emotional intelligence enough to have a seamless and open and honest conversation about it. So because they may not have a lot of emotional intelligence about the way that you feel if they step outside of your boundaries, and they also may not have enough self-awareness to understand how their wrongdoings are affecting other people. So how can they fix it? how can they how can they work towards anything with you, and how can you all both start to conflict resolve or resolve conflicts if they don't have enough self-awareness to start that process? So I personally have some family members like this, and they are close, but maybe not as close as the friends that are closest to me, that have a little bit more self awareness and have better communication skills. Let's all drink our water today. So, maybe somebody is coming to mind as I'm saying this. You know that this person is probably a person that you want to put more strict boundaries on. You may want to put a line saying, do not cross this line, and then put multiple other lines in place just in case they cross that one, because it might be more likely that they do. So that when they do cross that line, it's another line in front of it that's like, okay, you crossed this one. I foresaw that a little bit, but let's not cross this next one either. You know, for that person, you want to put some extra boundaries, some extra guidelines in place so that we just have a better understanding of each other, you know? The third category of person is just maybe you don't want to be closely associated with a person who maybe has little to no integrity. Integrity meaning, you know, they tell little white lies. They may make a lot of excuses for their behavior, and maybe a little bit narcissism, a little bit to a lot, you know? So let's dive a little deeper into this topic of people who tell little white lies, and then the boundaries with a person like this, but specifically a person who you may see treating other people negatively. Here's another character trait in public. This is a person who also may have difficulty being treating other people with the same amount of respect that they would treat you with. And they treat people differently based upon how they think those people should be treated. For example, authority figures. And I'm gonna read your comment in a second too, in case I forget my thought. But authority figures, you know, a little disrespectful, or you know, these are all red flags. Or like service people, if you go to a restaurant and you go out to eat and this person is always kind of really, what's the word, not nice to people of service to them, and also you may catch them telling like little white lies to cover things up or to get them out of being late for work. And these are people that you would want to put like serious boundaries on, because if they do other people like that, a lot of the times, because you feel like they don't do you like that yet, at some time, sometime, someplace, they will do you like that in the same way. They will lie, tell little lies. They will be, they might cross your boundaries. They might be disrespectful to you in a certain way, because that's an actual character trait of a person. All right. Hello, good morning, Temptation's daughter. Peace to you all. Thanks for you all for joining the live stream. And if you're enjoying this conversation so far, give it a thumbs up. Thanks very much. So, Otaku Vegeta 7 says, will you also talk about how to be aware of energy vampires? Sure. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. How to be aware of energy vampires. And that goes in really nicely with our conversation today. Energy vampires. I think first I will talk about some signs of energy vampires. Sorry, my throat kind of raspy. Okay, you notice that your physical feelings around them might be draining. You feel tired around them. Maybe you don't understand why, or you get a sick stomach in your a sickly stomach feeling when you're around them, but maybe you discount it, say that it's something else, you ate some bad food, but it happens a lot. And for something that for someone that you may have good times with, so sorry, for someone who you may have some good times with, every once in a while you get this feeling like, why, like how did we get here to the point that we're hanging out and we're so different, but in ways that that person might have like little pockets of negative energy, around them, in different categories. They may be negative, but it's not enough to, maybe it's enough to withdraw your being around this person, but maybe you tolerate them for a little bit, because I think energy vampires sometimes, for them to be vampires, they have to get close to people, right? And for that to happen, there's something that's likable about them. And I think, sorry, I have too much experience with this. I have too much firsthand experience with this. So I think another word for energy vampires can honestly be narcissists. And okay, so let's talk about this word narcissist. Some of the characteristics of a person who's like narcissistic is like they may be charming in some ways, because they have to get close to people. Vampires have to get close to people in order to suck the life out of them, right? Because vampires, if you think about it, they got to get close enough to get up on your neck and then bite you. How the hell a vampire gonna get close to you like that before you even know they're vampires? Because you don't know, because they can disguise themselves very well, and you know portray emotions that maybe they don't have, and act like they have feelings that they don't have. They just have intentions. And I think they are very self centered, because the way that energy vampires often take energy from people around them, or narcissists often take energy from people around them, is in a manipulative way. They think that they need to have a little bit of control over you. So they manipulate you into whatever. I don't know. They may manipulate you, or say slight slight comments that are a little backhanded compliments, but act like they're your friend in one setting or in most settings, but then beat you down little by little in other settings, you know, because they have this negative, it's an underlying negativity about their presence that only comes out in certain settings. And it's difficult to catch, because this person is in nature a charming person. They may be a person that gets along with people, generally on the surface level, gets along with people well, might also be a little outgoing. And generally, people on the outside looking in that aren't super close to this person see this person and they're like, oh, they're the life of the party, everyone likes them, etc. Because they have this energy vampire, honestly, has to be likable in order to steal energy from people. And unfortunately, that's a large way about how they manipulate people. So I keep clearing my throat. I'm still a little bit under the weather, I think, from something that I had last month, which is really crazy. I'm gonna do a herbal cleanse, a herbal detox soon. So yes, Temptation's daughter says was having a conversation about this on Sunday, and unfortunately, my oldest son is an energy vampire. He is handsome and has an alarming quiet demeanor, but when he's upset, he will suck the good energy from the entire room. He is very manipulative. Feel better. Thank you. Yes, they have to be, that's the first thing about energy vampires. They have to be somewhat likable in order to get close to people. And they're also very manipulative. One of the main ways that they manipulate people, like I was saying, is that they have a way of appearing likable, maybe in relationships. These are people who love bomb other people, their partners. They may shower them with gifts and compliments and really reel them in and still show enough of their kind of like flaws to show that they're a human being. Because I think across the board, if ever someone is like, seems really, really perfect and like they have no flaws, it's really difficult to believe that it's like not too good to be true. But really, a trait of narcissists is why they're so smart. And really, they don't have to be smart. They just have to know how the human brain works and how to manipulate a person is make them feel good, make them laugh, make them feel assured. And in friendships, this is somebody who seems like a very loyal person at first and then starts to slowly try to beat you down, or because a manipulative person also tries to make you feel less than, so they can also make you feel like they themselves, like the manipulative person, is a higher up being, because they want to put themselves on a pedestal so they can continue to demean the people around them. And that's how they suck the energy out of them. So they may give you a lot of compliments and then every once in a while say one thing that beats you down, one thing that they think shatters your self-confidence. And it's really simple for them to do that because the people who they do that to the most are people who are closest to them, like friends, spouses, and family members. And yeah, that's pretty much how an energy vampire works. I have all too much experience with this. Interesting. I thought that most energy vampires were not even aware that they are energy vampires. I would say that some people are aware, other people aren't aware. I think that most people aren't aware of how they make other people feel. Because in order to be an energy vampire, there has to be a large level of disconnect that you feel from other people's emotions. As a human being, if you have the ability to feel other people's emotions and you also are totally there in your mind, in your right mind, if you are sucking the energy out of somebody, you feel the repercussions of that emotionally. And there are different types of energy vampires. There are different levels of narcissists or people who have narcissistic traits. Another category or umbrella that energy vampires come under is like under this umbrella of energy vampires, there are narcissists, there are sociopaths, and yeah, there's like a lot of other terms in there that go kind of group together. You can group them together and create different personalities of people. However, one very common trait of energy vampires is why they're continuing to do this to people is because a lot of the times they can't feel how the other person feels when this happens, when they manipulate. They they somewhat, like, there's different people. Some people get amused out of manipulating other people or sucking the energy out of other people. Other people simply want to feel a higher up than, or they want to feel superior, more superior than. And that's why they put other people down. That's why they get close to people, suck the energy out of them, and continue to put them down or give them backhanded confidence or fake confidence. And that is also why they manipulate other people to stay so close to them. Because, and this is also a very, very, very common trait of abusive behavior, especially in relationships. And a lot of these type of people don't feel the other person's emotions. However, they are so damaged themselves that they want to feel higher up. They want to feel this sense of power, the power that they get from it. And then there are people who may be just really negative people. They may, in a group setting, say negative things and knowingly, sometimes hurt other people's feelings with the negative things they say. I would say that not all of these type of people that I just talked about are energy vampires. The fact that certain categories of people are just negative people, and maybe when they come into a room, they just suck the life out of the room. They might not be. They might not be like narcissistic, sociopathic. They might just be negative within themselves, and they say negative things, or they're just saying the things that they think about the world and about people, and they think it, so they say it. And when they live their life like that, it just puts other people down. It just like makes the room feel more gray. I think that energy vampires that are like that can be less harmful than other people who are manipulative. They have a plan, they have a structured way of draining the life out of people by putting themselves on a pedestal, telling lies, and, draining people's energy. So I kind of hit on all types of energy vampires on that one. And I think with anyone who's like that, you want to establish a really far boundary, especially if they're a family member. You want to have your arm at a long length and have that person at a long distance away from you. Yeah, so boundaries are really, really important. Yeah, thank you for your question and your suggestion for the topic. I think on the topic of how Oh, also, if you're enjoying this live stream, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. On the topic of how to forgive people who have been energy vampires in your life, have been negative people, have added negative things onto you, but you may love this person or I love this person. It's a lot harder to forgive a person like this because maybe they've added a lot of value to your life in a lot of ways, but they've taken away a lot from your life in a lot of ways too. So, how do we like love somebody from afar, which really means forgive them from afar and not even, we don't even have to tell this person that we've forgiven them. We just have to make sure in our hearts we're not putting our heart in shackles by harboring unforgiveness. And there's this mantra, or actually, it's not a mantra, it's just an affirmation. A mantra is more like Om. Om is a mantra because it has a sound and there's a meaning behind the sound. But affirmation is simply something that you say to somebody else. And you don't, excuse me, and you don't have to say it to them face to face, but you're thinking it and you're wishing them well from afar. And this is a very common affirmation for a type of meditation called compassion and loving kindness meditation. And it's these three simple words: may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be free from pain, may you live your life with ease, or 4 sentences. And whenever you feel like you have something in your heart that is a remnant of something that somebody did to you that caused you pain, that may have caused you months or years of pain, and you have a difficult time forgiving them for what they done, you can repeat these simple words. And I'll just repeat them. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from pain. May you live your life with ease. And when I do this, usually this is a meditation for me. And I have to visualize that person in my mind. Sometimes if this is a person who's like really caused you a lot of stress, anxiety, worry in your life, you don't want to visualize them, you don't want to see your face, you don't want to see their face or whatever. But just think, if there's something on your heart that you're harboring this because you're trying to protect yourself, it means that there are some really deep bottled up emotions about a person who you haven't forgiven. And those emotions need to escape somehow. And instead of covering them up or running from the emotions or running from the unforgiveness, we have a duty and we have a right to, with our words out of our mouth, recognize that a person who hurts other people a person who hurts other people may be in deep pain themselves, is probably in deep pain themselves. And every human being honestly wants to have love, wants to be loved, wants health, wants vitality of life. It's just that the way that people are motivated by that and the things that people do to get that sometimes are costly of other people's emotions, unfortunately. So it hurts to be compassionate to somebody and to love somebody from afar who has deeply hurt you. It hurts because we all want those same people to feel the same emotions that we feel the same way we felt when we were hurt. And we want those people to be hurt for us. But we're hurting ourselves in the process of staying hurt because we want other people to feel the pain that we feel. We're keeping ourselves hurt. And it really is costly on our mental. Temptation started said, I needed this. I recently went no contact with someone to protect my peace. That's valid. That is valid. And I mean, me too, in the past, I've had to cut off people to this day. Like, I'm usually not a type of person who blocks. If like on social media or block people's numbers. If a person, like, we were friends and maybe we got into a huge argument, things were said, and all of a sudden it's like, you did this wrong, you never apologized, you should do this, and I'm like, I don't see what the wrong, and then they don't see what the wrong thing, and then we just never agree, and then we just part ways. I'm usually not the person to, I'm gonna block your number, I'm gonna block Instagram, Facebook. I'm not that person. I don't know. It's just, I expect that if I have a fallout with somebody, you ain't gonna text me anyway, so why I need to block you for? And it just don't be that serious to me. I don't know. I just never understood the blocking until I went through a situation where I was the person on the other side of the narcissist and the sociopathic behavior. And I had to block everywhere I could possibly block that person. And because of that, going no contact on somebody who you have you have to protect your peace from is totally valid. And at the same time, it's difficult, but in order to protect our peace, also we have to, like, actually practice forgiveness in the same vein. And it feels so unfair, right? It feels so unfair when we're the person who, we have the trauma or we have the pain, we have the hurt from something that someone else did. And then on top of that, we have to be the one that does the work. Who, what? Like, we had, like, the situation happened to us. We were the one that was done wrong. We were the one that was manipulated. We were the one that was lied to. And then we got to do extra work to relieve ourselves from the trauma. Like, that's frustrating. That's frustrating. And I know a lot of you all relate. I relate firsthand. Still going through it. It's a process. But at the same time, it's realizing that trying to go through the process of forgiving somebody who has hurt you in a way strong enough to go no contact with the person, it takes work. Sometimes years and years and years, especially if that person's like a close person, like family member, close friend, parent, even. It's a lot of work. It can be frustrating, which is why I get people don't want to do this. We don't want to do this. But at the end of the day, trying to sometimes work through this is a lot better than having emotions that are pressed down and suppressed in your consciousness for years and years and years. And you know it's there because things come up and trigger it every once in a while. Like, a person that you meet, a new person comes into your life and you're like, you remind me of somebody else. I ain't gonna mess with you because you remind me of that one person that I never forgave, and I never forgave them for this reason. So I'm a roll out. And I still have this wound, so I'm gonna head out. Because it's like the wound never goes away. until we start to do the inner work within ourselves. So, yeah, this was a good conversation. If you're enjoying this, then give it a thumbs up. And thank you all for also for your interactions, your comments, and your questions. So, I'm going to try to like go back through the points that we mentioned, that I mentioned. How to forgive someone who has hurt you. Number one, let's not put people so high up on a pedestal. One of the traits that as we talked about with manipulative people, is they put themselves high up on a pedestal. Number two, put boundaries in place and keep your boundaries solid. Keep your boundaries solid. Don't let nobody talk you out of, oh, why you got this boundary? That don't make no sense. Why you got this boundary but don't got that boundary? No, no, no. Know what you need for yourself. Put them in place and then period. That's it. Number three, love them anyways. And not saying let them back in to the same position that they were in the beginning. But by loving people, I mean realize that all human beings want to be loved. They once were seeking out love, even if it feels like they're not giving love. And all human beings, just like we're a human being, we want health, we want vitality of life. So try to wish people well, even when they hurt you. Even when it feels like, what's the point? Because I got to deal with this. Like LF Prez 389 says, I do not want to be the victim. I get it. Trust me, I get it. And none of us want to be a victim. Don't use that word if it doesn't suit you. However, realize that it's true. Some of us have been hurt, may have the trauma from someone who has hurt our feelings, and because of that, it's difficult to forgive. And don't use the word victim if it doesn't suit you, but also realize that trying to at least go through a process of wishing someone well from afar and starting to say, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be free from pain, may you live your life with ease. Just those words remind ourselves that people that hurt other people have deep hurt within themselves. Like the hurt within themselves is almost deeper than how they hurt other people. And realize that also the hurt that other people have caused you really have nothing to do with you. They have everything to do with the hurt that they feel within themselves that they can't get rid of. So at least we have the mental and emotional conscious to be able to still feel, because some people can't feel, like they literally can't feel other people's emotions. They literally can't feel or understand how their actions are causing that much pain for other people. It's true. Look it up. Look up narcissistic people, those umbrella terms, sociopath. They can't feel. They literally, that's a character trait. They can't feel other people's emotions. And the things that they do to hurt other people, to manipulate and everything, they don't feel the emotions from other people from that. So anyways, thanks so much for joining my live stream today. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. And also, if you've been watching, this is day 11 out of 28 of me going live every single day for this month of February and talking about mental health and mindfulness. Mental health and mindfulness kind of like go hand in hand. And if you have a mindfulness or mental health topic to better your mental health. Maybe you're going through something right now and you're trying to figure out like how I'm gonna get through this. What are some tools that I can use in my brain, let me know, type it in the comments. And you can even comment on one of the previous live streams that I did. They're up on my channel. The videos are up on the channel. And just thank you all for joining. And I'll see you tomorrow. All right, y'all. Peace.